This thing is a top 5 bestseller in its category on Amazon, which either means that it's genuinely good for what it is, or it means a lot of people bought something that they don't fully understand yet. And I wanted to find out which of the two it was. Now, the other catch is that this thing costs $89. I've reviewed countless DSLRs, action cameras, and point and shoots, but I'll be honest, I've never actually used a camcorder before. I kind of skipped that whole era. And I'm genuinely surprised that these things are not only still being made, but they're selling. So I picked this one up thinking it would be a quick, easy video. But then I found something on it that I've never seen on any camera that I've tested at any price point. So the question that I'm trying to answer today is not, is this camcorder as good as a Sony or a DJI camera? It's not. But that's not the question. The question is, who is this actually for? And does it get the job done? And honestly, it's probably one of many cameras being manufactured at a similar price point, potentially in the same factory with a different name on the box. And that's not a dig, that's just how this category works. So what I'm really testing is whether the people selling this one got the tuning right for the price. Now on paper, the feature list is almost suspicious for $89. You've got 4K video, 64 megapixel photos, face detect autofocus, built-in stabilization, time-lapse, slow motion, a plug-and-play 4K webcam, and then one feature that I'll mention later. But first, let me show you what you actually get in the box. So the packaging genuinely surprised me. It feels like unboxing a Sony or a Fujifilm. Not something you'd expect at this price point. But unlike some of those big name brands, this one actually comes with everything you need to get started. You get 2 spare batteries, a 32GB micro SD card, a carrying case, and a remote control. So you don't have to buy any more accessories on top of this. And for a lot of people, that matters at the $89 price point. The build quality is largely plastic, but that helps keep it lightweight. And that is a deliberate trade-off at this price point. It has the standard side strap grip, so there's a specific way that you're meant to hold it. But there's also a 1/4-20 thread on the bottom if you want to mount it to a tripod. This camcorder also has a tilting flip screen, which you don't always see on cameras that cost 10 times this amount. Now, as someone who's used a lot of DSLRs, action cameras, and point and shoots, holding a camcorder like this is genuinely strange to me, and it took a lot of getting used to. The menu system is its own thing entirely. There's no touchscreen, so you have to use the physical buttons. And honestly, it took me a while to find my footing. And I want to be upfront about that because it affected my testing early on. But once I got used to using the menu, I started to actually see what this camera is and also what it isn't. But quick pause. I bought this camera on my own. This video is not sponsored by this camera company, but it is sponsored by Narwhal. And the timing works out because I've been testing their new Flow 2 this week. I've run quite a few robot vacuums throughout my house over the years. So I had a pretty clear sense going in of what I was looking for. So the first thing I noticed, and this stood out compared to what I've tested before, is that the suction actually means something here. This isn't the kind of robot that just nudges dust around and calls it a day. Also, the mopping system runs heated water through the mop in real time, so it's always cleaning with fresh water rather than spreading the same dirty water around. But the navigation is where most robot vacuums either earn you or lose you. The Flow 2 reads different objects and adjusts its distance based on what it's dealing with. So fixed furniture it cleans close to, but things that it might move or tip over, it gives it more room. So in a space like mine, where there's usually a tripod here and there, or a camera gear on the floor constantly, it handles all of that without me having to clear the room first. It also has an accompanying phone app that gives you a full 3D map of your space. You can tap into a specific room or area and send the vacuum right to where you want it to go clean. And that kind of control is what makes the difference between a robot vacuum you will actually use and one that just sits in a corner. There's a link in the description below if you want to check it out. Okay, back to this budget camcorder. Let's talk about the footage. So transparently, everything that I've shown you so far has been me cherry-picking the very best of what I captured with this camera. because that is actually the most important thing to understand. A camera at this price point, it can take good photos and videos, but the bigger question is whether it does that consistently. And the short answer is no, it does not. And that is exactly why expensive cameras cost more money. So take stabilization. This camera does have built-in stabilization, and when it's turned on, if I hold the camera still and move slowly, the footage looks genuinely stable. But if I try to treat this like an action camera and walk or run with it, I get that warping jello effect. Meanwhile, a camera like a GoPro or a DJI Pocket 3 can handle that without thinking. This one, it needs a little bit of cooperation from you. The same story applies to high contrast lighting situations. In harsh sunlight, the exposure handling is unpredictable. Sometimes the lighting balances out well, and other times it blows it out completely. And sometimes it depends on the angle that you're holding the camera. More expensive cameras tend to adapt to changing conditions better. This one requires you to adapt to it. But slow motion was honestly the biggest disappointment for me. I thought the results looked pretty rough. And part of the problem was that the menu was confusing enough that I wasn't always sure if I had turned it on or turned it off. Even accounting for that mistake, I think the compressed footage at slow motion frame rates is not very pretty. The processor simply can't handle the data rate that good slow motion requires, and that is a cost that you can't avoid at this price point. So if slow motion matters to you or good stabilization, this is not the camera. Also, you don't get macro or close-up shots or a bokeh or a blurred out background. And that 18 times digital zoom is really not pretty. I would definitely not use the zoom feature on this camera. The more you zoom in, the more degraded the image quality looks. And honestly, I would have been so shocked if a camera at this price point could do either of those things. So no points off there. But face detection autofocus was actually solid. It tracked well in most conditions and performed better than I expected. But here's where it gets interesting. There are two features on this camcorder that genuinely exceeded my expectations. And one of them I've never seen on any camera that I've ever reviewed. The first surprising feature is webcam mode. So if you plug this camera in via USB-C, it immediately registers as a 4K webcam. You don't have to install any drivers or software or register for some program. It just is a plug-and-play webcam. And as long as you have your lighting dialed in, the image quality is legitimately pretty good. And because you're mounting the camera to use it as a webcam, you also get the stability benefit automatically. So for someone trying to build a home studio setup on a budget, this could be a really good feature. But the second feature is the one that I keep mentioning over and over again, the one that I haven't seen on any other cameras that I've tested. This budget camcorder has IR night vision. So if you press the OK button, the camera switches to infrared mode, which means it can basically see in the dark. So you can shoot still photos and video in complete darkness. Everything does render in black and white, but the clarity is surprisingly good. I've tested action cameras, DSLRs, and point-and-shoots, and I've never seen this on a consumer camera at any price point. It's genuinely an unusual feature, and depending on what you're shooting, that might actually come in handy. Like if you want to shoot wildlife at night, or security-style footage, or just have a lot of fun, it opens up use cases that nothing else in this category can even come close to. So who is this budget camcorder actually for? I think it's for someone who needs a dedicated video camera that's not a phone, an actual camera, who does not need broadcast quality, and is not ready to spend $400 to $800 to get there. So think parents or grandparents filming kids' activities, or someone just starting out who wants to learn on something that they don't have to be careful if they break it or not. Or honestly, anyone who specifically wants that night vision capability and doesn't want to spend serious money to get it. This camera is not for someone who needs consistent results in varied conditions. And it's not for someone who cares about good slow motion, low light performance, or professional stabilization. The reason why expensive cameras cost a lot more comes down to a few things that are really hard to replicate cheaply. Sensor size, lens quality, and the processor's ability to handle color, noise, and changing lighting conditions without you managing it manually. You can close the gap on some of those things with good light and a steady hand. But it's really hard to close the gap on sensor and processor performance. And that is where something like the Pocket 3 or the iPhone 17 Pro is operating in a completely different league. The cheap versus expensive conversation in cameras is almost never about one being bad. It's about what problem each one is built to solve. And this Zyte camcorder solves a real problem for a specific person at a price that removes the barrier entirely. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. And if there's any other piece of gear out there, whether it's budget or not budget, that you want me to test out and do a review on, let me know in the comments as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.